Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to this other edition of Prime A on My Media Prime. Today, as usual, we are going to be looking at how to be successful business-wise, how to add to what we already have, and how to bounce back from where we fell off from our desired positions. We are this evening going to be discussing on how to develop a resilient entrepreneurship spirit with experts in the domain who have promised to always be there every Friday to tell us how we can also be successful and be able to live the type of lives they live. I myself am learning every day. I take notes so that I can better my situation now. We are going to be discussing with panelists who already seated, Mr. Teke Samuel, who is the big boss of Tex Global and everything that has to do with Tex chain of companies. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and thank you. I'm glad to be here again.
How is Tex Global doing?
Doing well, we're doing great. We're excelling on a daily basis.
We are adding more
companies and more projects and more activities.
Okay. Miss L is here with us also to also add to what Mr. Teke is going to be saying, and even giving us some insights on how she's succeeding. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. And I'm so glad to be here again.
They look particularly sparkling this evening.
Thank you.
Prepared.
Anything cooking? Okay, we are glad to have you with us this evening. Also with us is the marketing director of Tex Global, Mr. Buji Liansin. We are glad to have you.
It's my pleasure to be back on Prime A. It's always a pleasure every Friday. So we are going to be exploring the evening together.
To share?
Yes, to share. Obviously, we are here to share and impact lives, as is our mission.
Nobody should lose hope here. We have everything that it takes to bounce back and live the life that we ever dreamt of living. With these guys with me in the studio this evening, we are also in the company of an ambassador for the Audacity of Success. The person of Neighbor Paul is going to be sharing what he gathered from the Ambassador of Success editions, previous editions. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and welcome to. I'm glad to be here on this program. Hello, televiewers. Stay put. We are going to share so much today as far as entrepreneurship is concerned. Stay put. Get some pens and writing materials. Let's do this together.
You're coming from Boya this evening?
No, I'm based here in Douala.
Okay, you're in Douala.
Yeah.
No, Mr. Teke is coming from Boya.
Yeah.
I hope everything is well.
Yeah, everything is fine.
Ground zero.
Beautiful. It's calm.
Okay, let's get this, like he says, let's get this working. We are going to start with you, Mr. Teke Samuel. What's the entrepreneurial spirit that we are talking about? What was the difference from other things? You see, how to develop a resilient entrepreneurship spirit. What is this spirit you're talking about?
Okay, so spirit there, it's not the one we know in church.
Okay.
It's another word for attitude.
Okay.
The entrepreneurship attitude. There is an attitude that an entrepreneur is supposed to have if they have to succeed. And the word the resilient means there's a certain attitude that an entrepreneur is supposed to have. And that attitude is the attitude of never giving up.
Okay.
The attitude of keep pushing, keep doing it until you get the result. A real entrepreneur don't give up. They keep pushing, they keep fighting, they keep working until they get the result. Every entrepreneur is focused on getting to the target. If you're giving up before you achieve your dreams, it means you're not an entrepreneur. Maybe you just get into something because of someone told you, hey, go there. But if you're really an entrepreneur, you must develop a particular spirit, which is the spirit of resilience. It's an attitude. It's an attitude of a lion. He wants to be the winner. He wants to get into the jungle and become the king. An entrepreneur must develop the attitude of always daring into new things. You see, you want to dive in no matter how difficult it seems. That's the entrepreneurship spirit. People who always make adventures in developing new things, new ideas, no matter how difficult it seems to be, they decide they are going to get it and they ensure they get it before giving up.
Yes, because I was going to ask you to remind our televiewers of about who an entrepreneur is.
Okay. In my own term, an entrepreneur is someone who, a problem solver, someone who solves a problem with a reward in mind, someone who solves a problem with a benefit in mind, someone who solves a problem with a profit in mind. So it's a little different from someone who does philanthropic activities. An entrepreneur is someone who looks at a problem in the business perspective. He looks at a problem, provide a solution to that problem with a profit in mind. So I am solving a problem for people, making them happy, in turn getting benefits or being paid for solving people's problems.
That is yes, that is grammar. What is grammar? Simplify this for some persons who are watching this and who may not have gone to school to understand.
Okay.
From your perspective.
Okay. You are in Douala, and Douala is hot. It's very hot. And when you walk the streets of Douala, you see people who hustle in the street on a daily basis. They are sweating, okay? And some people want to clean their sweat. You see them carrying their clothes, trying to wipe their sweat and all of that. And you say, okay, this is a problem. We can solve it. Nobody is more comfortable using their dress to wipe their sweat. And you decide to start hawking handkerchiefs on the road. And you start selling handkerchiefs on traffic and all of that. People start buying. You identify the problem and decide to solve the problem for these people by providing handkerchiefs in the streets to sell. As soon as you start selling them, people start buying. Why they buy the handkerchief? You are solving their problems and they are giving you money. That's who an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is someone who is focused on people's needs. So, and that example is, we are working, because sometimes people say, hey, I'm a civil servant or I'm a salary earner, I cannot be an entrepreneur. You can be working and you are still an entrepreneur. So you are working in an organization, you see a need in that organization, a problem you can solve. And then you meet the boss and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. We can solve it like this, solve it like this. Okay, can you do it? Yes, I can do it. And you solve the problem. The boss sees that you solve a problem. Probably they give you a salary raise or they promote you. You have solved a problem, in turn make money for yourself. That's the simple term for who an entrepreneur is.
Yes, the watchword there is to make profit.
A problem solver, to solve a problem with a profit in mind.
That you must make money.
Yes.
If you are doing philanthropy out there, when not knowing that you could make money from what you do, you better start thinking of ways of monetizing your services.
Yes.
So that you can live a big life like Mr. Teke does, and then you can also take care of your
people.
home. Yes. So that is the notion of entrepreneurship. You must identify something out there and make sure that you solve the problem, and in return you make big money. What should motivate the development of this entrepreneurship spirit? What motivates it?
Okay, motivation as per entrepreneurship spirit is more about personal choices.
Okay.
If you've chosen your path, it is already a motivation for you. If you know where you are going to, it's a motivation. So what stirs it up is more of the focus. When somebody has the mindset of where they are going to, they know where they are going to, they know the path they are following, it stands as the first motivation, because you cannot be able to work on developing the entrepreneurial spirit if you don't know the problem you're solving. Yes, going back to the definition of an entrepreneur, if you don't know the problem you're solving, then you will not get the motivation, because when you're solving this problem, you get self-fulfillment away from the financial reward that comes with it. There's always self-fulfillment that comes with it. So what motivates the entrepreneurial spirit, what stands as the first motivation, is the focus that we have. When people face challenges, when they are going through a journey, their expectation, the focus they have about where they are going to, stands as a push factor when they face different challenges. So if you want to be motivated, to be able to get to the point where you can have that spirit of an entrepreneur, the resilient spirit of an entrepreneur, you must have a focus where you are going to. That's the first thing that stirs you up when you keep moving, right there. So if you don't know where you're going to, that's when issues come, you can easily back down. You'll be afraid to take risks and all the like. But whenever you have a focus, whenever you know the destination, it stands as a motivation to you, because when you face challenges, you face the ups and downs that entrepreneurs face, the focus of where you're going to has a way it comes back to, it brings back images that begins to pull you to keep moving.
But are the existence of problems around our communities not a motivating factor for us to wanting to get them fixed or meet these needs?
The problems we face in our community now, it's a motivating factor, but now this depends on the individual.
Okay.
To some people, it could be a push factor, it will be a pull factor. So it depends still on what you have up here, the focus. Now, I may face problems around me, like the example Mr. Teke gave. Somebody will see people facing these difficulties with sweat and heat all around in Douala. To some people, they will decide not to step out. And they'll tell you, I can't walk under the sun because it's hot. And that person will see that as a problem and decide to provide a solution. So the problems we have around us in our local community, even in the country, is enough motivation. But the problem is the individual, how the individual sees it. It's like the definition of fear that I made mention last time in the billionaire mindset, that is either you forget everything and run, or you face everything and rise. So some people are forgetting everything and running, while others are facing it and rising. So our problems that we face in our community is enough to push us to keep moving, but we have to position ourselves at the level where we can see this as an opportunity instead of a disadvantage. So that is just the streamline between that's a streamline between us and the problems we face in our community. If we can be able to look at it in a different, with the mind's eyes, with the entrepreneurial mind's eyes, if we can be able to look at it in that aspect, in that perspective, then we'll be able to use these problems to skyrocket other than going down.
Are we not also motivated by the success stories of other persons who may be standing out in the field that is, you live in your community and you see somebody who is very extremely successful in a domain that previously was neglected, and then you see how you can try your hand into it?
As a matter of fact, everything that happens around us is supposed to be a motivating factor, or a discouraging factor. Now, problems around us are supposed to be a motivating factor, in the sense that if we see them as opportunity, this is how I call it, problems are opportunities for us to grow. If you see it as that, you see, why she was talking, this thing just came to me. The reason why Cameroon is broke is because Cameroon had never really actually had a crisis. From independence till now, Cameroon was so peaceful until they started having this crisis. If Cameroon had had some severe internal conflicts before now, this country would have grown, because people would have gotten to a point where they needed to help themselves out of challenges. You see, Nigeria is growing the way it's growing because of the Biafra War. The Biafra War happened, and then it put a lot of sense in people's head. And the crisis that's happening in Cameroon right now, if you look at now, what is happening in Cameroon right now, from 2017 till now, is actually a move mostly for the youths. A lot of youths are delving into things that they never thought of. Because you got to a point where your things were destroyed, you had no home, you have nothing, you have to pack from your region and then move to Douala. And Douala is so difficult that you have to think of something to automatically. We have majority of Cameroonian youths, especially from the northwest and south, become motivational speakers, because they found themselves, everything is gone. I can no longer go to the farm to do cocoa farming. I can't do this. My village is down. I have to go to the city. What am I supposed to do? You start thinking. Problems are supposed to help push us to think better. So it depends on what spirit is in you. And that's when the factor of people's success. If you leave and then come to Douala and discover that young people who are actually making it, and like, okay, what did they do? How did they get it? I have to figure out what happened. Then you start delving into them, start creating new friendships, start creating new circles, as well as you can actually do what these other guys are doing. So both people's success stories and the challenges that happen around us are supposed to be as a motivating factor to developing ourselves and our growth.
We are talking about how to develop a resilient entrepreneurship spirit. Should this operate, we're talking about the spirit that operates in us as individuals, entrepreneurship spirit, but not just any spirit, but that which is resilient. Does it come upon specific people of a specific domain? For example, only persons involved in commercial subjects. A lot of people would it biology, people would it mathematics, and those who did not go to school at all. Should they also expect this spirit to visit them?
Of course.
They don't.
Of course, when we talk about the entrepreneurship spirit, it's definitely an attitude, as Mr. Teke said. It's an attitude of the entrepreneur, and it is not for selected people. It's not for those who have gone to school, those who
did marketing.
Those who came from rich families, those who did economics or the subjects that were commercial in nature. Everybody can become an entrepreneur. as we have already established that an entrepreneur is a problem solver. If you read medicine and you realize that there is a need to solve a problem in that
there is COVID-19.
You understand? So just to say, when COVID-19 strike, I had a friend who, at least I'm sure she actually was doing an NGO. Obviously, she's mostly she's doing more of community outreach. So at that time when COVID-19 strike, so since I'm a good marketer, she told me she can do hand sanitizers. So I told her, why not try it? So I just want to encourage her. She produced some, just very little. I put it on my status. I mean, just on WhatsApp. That's with just data for 100 francs. If I could, it's not even up to that. So people started calling. There were people who wanted to buy it and sell. So they actually established their own price. Before I knew it, at the end of the day, just I gave the contact to another person who now called her, and they established a business relationship that she made 178,000 for that day. She was like, wow, so this is possible. I said, go into mass production because you have identified a problem and you are stepping in to solve. She had no background in science, but definitely the issue is that she actually had that desire. She knew how to solve the problem of people, because everybody is scared. Everybody was scared, is scared of COVID-19. So she has to provide a solution. You know, at least the confidence that when you have your hands sanitized, you definitely, you feel confident. So providing security for people was what she decided to do. And today she's doing well, because as COVID-19 continues, even after COVID-19, people will still be conscious that you still have to sanitize your hands. People now understand the basics of hygiene. So everybody can become an entrepreneur, but the entrepreneur journey is not an easy one.
Yes, it's not an easy one. But my question is trying to make almost everybody understand that they could make money out of what they do. For example, somebody reads sociology, and to some extent, some persons may think that it is not too useful. But I think if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you could discover that there is a lot of knowledge that you've gathered that is lacking in certain domains. Why not come up with a book that can easily explain this, and why not organize the workshops also? The workshops that are being done today, why not also come up with something that can help?
Mr. Leo, just as you said, that just reminded me of something. Imagine somebody who read tourism. Now you're out of school, you start looking for a job, and maybe it's not forthcoming. You understand, but tourists are flowing into the country. Now you cannot have a job maybe with the Ministry of Tourism. Now you decide to establish a travel agency that could actually book people's flights, book their hotels, get them to their locations, provide tour guide services to them. That is already an entrepreneurship attitude. You are an entrepreneur because you are solving a problem in that domain.
Yeah, doing it differently from those who are already in the domain.
Obviously, because there are two students that graduated. One may be working with the Ministry of Tourism, he has a job. But the entrepreneur will get out and see, how can I solve some of the problems that tourists faced? And if you start solving those problems, imagine the chain of activities that a tourism student can do. You can book flights, you can provide guides, you can book their hotels, you can give them tour services.
There is the Anglophone crisis, which has a lot to do with history, the history of Cameroon. This is also an opportunity for persons who are experts in history. Why not come up with seminars to actually go into those untouched parts of Cameroon's history? This is also the period to come up with some of those facts, some of those books about, let people understand better
You can even put up a program, like a TV program, just to talk about the history of Cameroon.
Cameroon.
And people will become so interested in it. You just be digging all of these things and put it. When you do go 1, 2, 3, 4 times, get a slot at Prime Hour, for example, that have a lot of views. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You have people calling you, and that's how you start making money. For example, we have 2 doctors graduate from the university. Now, one of them decide to start looking for a job, probably get a job. He's a professional doctor. Another person doesn't have a job or has a job and decide to start training upcoming doctors, teach them, train them, open up classes for them, and then decide to even open hospitals and employ other doctors to work in that hospital. Now, this one that has a job as a doctor is a professional, but this one decides to open hospitals and employ other doctors to work there. He is an entrepreneurial doctor. That's just the difference. One person picks a job and remains at the job, depends on their salary, and that picks the job, graduate from school, decide to concentrate in that job, but do the job as a business. This guy sees it as a job, and this guy sees it as a business. So the difference between a professional and entrepreneur is that one person takes it as a business, the other takes it as a job.
Now, how do we, what does it take to develop this spirit? Do we fast and pray for maybe 30 days? We go to the mountain now so that the spirit will come. What does it take?
No, the initial point of developing this habit is your desire.
Okay.
Yes, the desire to solve a problem. Because actually when the problems are occurring, your angle of looking at them determines whether you develop that habit or not. Because where we are, there are so many problems, but most people are not, might be complaining. But an entrepreneur will be thinking of, all right, if people are complaining that there's a crisis in the country, what can I do so much so that I can help in the process of resolving this crisis and actually making money? You know, Cameroonians have never faced a crisis, and obviously they are undergoing a circumstance now that they have never undergone before, and it is bringing up other services that they have never enjoyed before, and they might not even know that this is what we need to go out of this particular problem. An entrepreneur on his own angle, who has a desire for problem solving rather than complaining and blaming like as many do, will bring in something somehow from his desire and actually develop solutions to the problems, and in return will earn money. What I usually say is that when I see anybody, I consider that they have my money in their pocket. But the problem, the issue I'm facing is I need to develop a solution, a means through which I can get that money.
Already you have the entrepreneurial mindset. That is, you see Mr. Kum working, you start imagining that how can I get money out of him?
Out of his pocket?
Yeah, but how do you even get to this? How do you get to attracting the outpouring of the spirit on you?
You know, self-questioning is something that every adult should do. You know, when you reach a particular age in your life, you should do some self-questioning. Ask questions about your existence on earth, and when you ask those questions, you begin to realize certain things. And when you realize certain things, you start digging. Of course, because nobody is either born an entrepreneur or a professional. At one point in time, somebody decides that, hey, I need to do this, and when you decide to do this, you start looking for the equipment, looking for the resources that will permit you to be able to deliver that value. That's where you start gathering the spirit of an entrepreneur. And how do you do that? You have to equip yourself with knowledge. Knowledge acquisition is something that must come in play when you are talking about developing the spirit of entrepreneur. Because mind you, when they're talking about entrepreneurship, if you are not ready to receive rejection, if you are not ready to receive bullying, if you are not ready to receive, I mean, if you are not ready to be on your own, don't go into entrepreneurship.
Mr. Teke, he is talking about the spirit, but isn't it also very important? If you have to build the spirit, it starts with thinking differently, thinking out of the box, thinking of a paradigm shift where almost everybody think that I should be given a job. I'm going to school because either the government or somebody has to employ me, and beginning to think that I should now leave after my degree, leave to solve the problems of others? Why not create jobs and opportunities for others? Is that not where it starts also?
Yes, it all begins from our mind, and the way our minds are being programmed is a total product of our environment to start with. For example, if I had been in Cameroon all through after my advanced level, probably the entrepreneurial spirit in me would have died, because the environment I was growing in did not support that. I can remember very well that while I was younger, I was doing little business. I had this thing for business, but it would have died because I wouldn't have had anybody who could have stand as a motivation for me. So first thing is the environment. Our environment has a lot to do with who we become. And that is why, as we're talking now, I expect that, okay, our viewers, our parents should begin to look at their children and start giving them this supporting environment, this free hand to be able to do what they want to do. So when I left my environment, that was the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, because luckily for me, I found myself in an environment where people are business oriented. People want to be independent. People want to explore the world. So I started from there. Now, from that environment, I was able to create a different kind of friendship. So my mindset began to change. So if the environment is right, 80% of what we see in Cameroon today, or what we see in the lives of the average Cameroonian, is as a result of our environment. Our school environment teaches us, when you are done, get a job. If you can't get a job, write a concours. If the concours doesn't work, travel abroad. That's what the school system says. Or you continue schools until you get PhD. The last money master's case I had, I taught PhD students. They left, they have PhD degree. They don't have a job. And these guys almost feel like they want to die. They want to open the head and sink. I was like, what were you thinking? You've had your first degree, no job, no money. You had to go borrow money or look for money and to do masters. Masters of what? Of poverty. That wasn't enough. You now went ahead to do PhD, and today you have PhD, no job. So what were you thinking? So first is, what is your reason for going to school? Is it to gather certificate or to gather the degrees, or you're actually going to school to come back and help your community? So the orientation has to change. Educational leaders or our educationists must first of all have to learn to change their orientation. We have to start letting our people know that the essence of you going to school is to come back and be a change in your community. And if that change is not evident, if it means you should drop school, I'm not saying drop, but see, if it means, if you discover your purpose and it requires you to drop that university degree and pick up a certificate program that can change the course of your life, you do it. Because what pays today is not certificate, it's what I call certificate. That means what you know. And the reason why everybody goes to school is to have money. So if you graduate and come back for 5 years, no job, what are you supposed to do? It means the education did not pay off. So our environment is number one. It has a lot to do with who we become. Number two, the friends who keep around us. The average Cameroon today, if you move the streets of Douala, you see people who sit in the bars and say, man, don't worry, I will get money for this life. As I talk about, they are drinking. So they drink off their desire. They really want to be wealthy. They really want to be successful. But with 1,000 in their hand, they think they can just drink off and forget their sorrow. So they're telling you, I know I'm going to be rich. I know I'm going to be rich.
Mr. Teke, isn't it because they think that somebody has to make them rich? They think that somebody has to recruit them until they'll be fine, not knowing that the salaries, what they drink of in a month, could be more than a salary that they earn.
Yes, so it's still going back to the environment. Our environment has not been an enabling environment for entrepreneurship, because we have grown with thoughts that the government is the sole proprietor of financial success as far as the Cameroon million is concerned. If I've seen people who have occasion in their house just because their child, their son or their daughter had a matricle number. As soon as you are matriculated, they go home and they do a big occasion. How much is their salary? 150, 120, 200,000, 300,000. I did analysis once. I said, if your salary is 300,000, which is a big salary in the Cameroon context, divide that salary by 30 days. you will be worth 10,000 per day. That's a graduate. Some of them master's degree holder with 300,000. If you divide 10,000 by 10,
yeah, but that's not the average salary. Why not come to the average salary that may range between 150, 180? Yes.
No, let's
So
look at the
majority, yes. Because there you are going.
If we work with 150, it means the average graduate is earning 5,000 per day. Divide that by 24 hours, the average graduate is earning about $220 francs per hour. How much is that in dollar? It's nothing to write home about. In dollar, it's not up to your transport to go to work and back. So all of us need to start thinking. That's why I said that sometimes the emergence of issues, of crisis, of problems is supposed to act as a motivating factor to change the mindset of the people. In 2017, when I came to Cameroon, every young man that had a business in Buea, they were migrating, moving to Yaoundé and to Douala. It's now that they are coming back. I spoke with one today and said, where is your office? He said, we are back in Buea. But that 2017, while everybody was running away, I was going to Kumba. I was in Buea. I was going to Ikondo Titi, talking about our business. That is when people could actually, okay, these ones that we are seeing, let's see how we can do business with them if it will work. But everybody ran away. Why? Because we are taught to run away from problems. Nobody wants to face a challenge. So when problems come, if the environment is perfect, it will teach us that we have to learn that we are the sole proprietor of our own lives. Not the government, not our relatives, not anybody. If the government comes, beautiful. If an uncle comes, wonderful. But our youths, Cameroonians should have to understand that we are the architect of our success. That is where the entrepreneurship spirit begins. The moment you decide that you are the one that is going to train yourself and give yourself the money that you desire in this life, that's when everything changes for you. That moment of self-responsibility. I am the one that is responsible for whatever I am going to become in this life. Not my uncle, not my relative, not the government.
Miss L, you are a young, dynamic lady. We are talking about a spirit, entrepreneurship spirit. Is this largely lacking in most of those you have interacted with? You went to university.
Yeah.
You are still living around people. Is it lacking? If it's lacking, how do we know that it's lacking?
Okay, yes, it's lacking. Most of the people that I grew up with, I discovered that I could be able to just know that by their words at their present condition.
Okay.
Our words are just an expression of thoughts. You cannot say what is not in your mind. Even if you use different words, in the course of a conversation, we will still end up finding out what you have, the information you have. So it's easy to know someone who does not have an entrepreneurship spirit by their words and the way they react to situations. The way they react to problems, to challenges that they face in their businesses. There are so many people that when they face challenges in their businesses, the first thing that comes out, the first thing is not the action, is the word that comes out. You hear people even saying that maybe that everything they do has bad luck, other side of things, and now most of them believe that if they are failing their business, they are not the cause.
Is the ant
Yes, they believe they are not the cause. I don't know where that mindset is coming from. They believe that if they are failing their business, it should be an external force. We're not saying that external forces don't play at times, but it becomes a problem when you're putting the blame so much consistently. Success is a very intentional activity, and one thing I know about success is that it's very predictable. By the actions, by everything you do today, by the activities you do today, we can tell if you're successful or not. So when people start having ill words, like having a negative mindset, a negative perspective, the way they see things, all is negative concerning their businesses, it tells us that they are lacking in that area. But now, there are many ways in which we can revamp that. It's just that you can never, like how the Englishman would say that you cannot take a horse to the stream and you force it to drink water. Now, these same sort of persons, trust me, if you tell them that they have a shortcoming in this area, it becomes a problem. These same sort of persons will not want to accept that this is the mindset that they have, this is the attitude they have towards business. A lot of people, now I would like to narrow it down to young girls, yes. Although nowadays we're seeing a lot of young girls are picking up or coming up, doing a lot of activities here and there. But now these same sort of persons, I was discussing this with a friend of mine, we're just talking about the business she's doing. So I was asking her, like, what's happening now to the business? You become quiet all of a sudden. And she started explaining 1 or 2 problems. But I could not tell her to her face that it was not a problem. I just sat and I was listening. Then at the back of my mind, I was like, I'm still not seeing
the problem.
What actually stopped the business? Because there are some challenges that come in the business to help us be able to discover new things. Problems come with a lot of research. You cannot overwrite a problem if you've not researched about that problem. And that's one thing we fail to do. People don't ask questions. They don't want to be informed. And if you are not informed, the more information you have, it widens or broadens your mind, the way you think. And if you're not informed, it means you're not informed about your line of business. There is no way you'll be able to take what I call calculative risks.
Okay.
Yes, what I call calculative risks. There are some people that want to get into risks. They want to be able to get into risks when it concerns their businesses. But trust me, even these risks we're talking about, that is one of the attributes of a good entrepreneur. They used to teach us this right in school. Even these risks we're talking about, there are people who get into risks that are very foolish. Like, you see somebody get into the risks that you know that this one is not a risk, it's foolishness. Sometimes they get into some ventures in their businesses that you know that it's not calculative. They didn't plan it. At the end of the day, when they fail, you start hearing funny complaints. East, west, north, and south. But if we can get so informed and ready to research about problems that we discover and get more information about these problems before we venture into it, then we will not always face these things that will cause us to feel as though we're not doing business the right way.
Okay. Oh, wonderful program. I'm learning. Please, can I contribute to the program, sir? Okay. He has some questions here. I don't know. I will read them out. Mr. Teke will answer. Tamo Cyril is writing from Bamenda, Cameroon. He says they have been in debate among entrepreneurs for a while now concerning whether entrepreneurs are born or made. So I wish to inquire whether entrepreneurs are born or made. 2, what can be done to boost the level of entrepreneurship spirit in Cameroon? 3, how can you motivate yourself as an aspiring or developing entrepreneur to attain success?
All right, the first one, if they are born or made. So my question back to him is, are human beings born or made?
Okay.
So if human beings are born, then entrepreneurs are born. Everybody is born as an entrepreneur. My reason is because I said that entrepreneurship is your ability to solve a problem. So everybody is born as a problem solver. Now, everybody is born as a child. Nobody was born as an adult. Everybody is born as a child, but grow up as adults. So everybody is born as an entrepreneur, but grow up to develop the entrepreneurship skills. Okay. So you can decide to grow or not to grow. But the truth is, the time must pass.
You have what it takes to solve a problem.
Yes, everybody has what it takes to solve a problem. If you discover that, then you are an entrepreneur. So answer is, everybody, entrepreneurs are born. And everybody is born as an entrepreneur because we have what it takes to solve a problem.
Okay.
So the problem is we have to figure out what area, what is my own capacity, and what problem am I supposed to solve, so that you don't start copying people and start failing to fit in. And the next question is, what can be done to develop the entrepreneurship spirit in us?
In Cameroon, yeah.
In Cameroon, that's very simple. What can be done? We need to start learning to change our education system. We need to start learning to change the kind of information we take in. We need to start learning to change the kind of activities we get ourselves involved into. We need to start learning to learn how to give ourselves the responsibility that it is our duty to change our lives. It means we have to get into books, the kind of books we read. We have to change it. I speak with a lot of ladies in Cameroon, young ladies, and the books they read is novels. All these love novels and all of that. Say, what do you get from such a book?
Charlotte Bronte.
Yes, those kind of books. I said, come on, you need to change the kind of books you read, because that's not going to take you anywhere. You cannot sit on the TV and you watch Telemundo for 3 hours. The people that acted Telemundo spent their time to act Telemundo, and the moment you watch Telemundo, you are giving them money. So when you sit on your TV to watch Telemundo, you are giving someone money. Ask yourself a question: why I'm sitting here to give you money? Who is sitting down to give me money? That's what I always ask. To drink is not a problem, but anytime you drink, you take a bottle of beer, raise your head up to drink it. First question is, who is raising their head up to give me money? Because as you are raising your head up, you are giving a brewery company money. So who is raising their head up to give you money? If you have set your system in place, you can sit down to drink. It's not a bad thing. But if you've not set your system in place, then you have to go set your system before you can come back and sit to drink. So what can be done to motivate the entrepreneurship spirit in Cameroon? Number 1, we have to change our system of education, the kind of information we get, change the kind of books we read, change the kind of circles we have around us. We have to change the kind of activities we get ourselves involved into. Instead of sitting down to gist and drink, we have to sit down to do business meetings. Elon Musk once said that instead of going down to do baby showers, that's what they said, that we should sit down to do business showers. So when someone is opening a new business, let's gather together and contribute and support him. Oh, wonderful. My Media Prime is a beautiful place. All people in the media department, we are going to open My Media Prime. Let's contribute only 10,000 and support Mr. Leo for this program he's doing. That kind of thing is not common in Cameroon. That's what we're supposed to be doing. People can contribute money to attend your wedding, to attend your burial ceremony, probably you lost someone, or to attend your child dedication. But people will not contribute money when you are starting up a business. I said that time, in Cameroon, if you start up a business, all the Cameroons are looking at you. I will not say you go fail now. Yes. You will just watch it if you fail. And immediately something happens, the next thing is, we'll talk him. We knew he was going to fail. And that is the wrong mindset. So we have to change our mindset. So about motivation, how do you motivate yourself to become an entrepreneur? It's very simple. The question is, what is your purpose? Because I said there can never be a motive without an action. Every action is backed up by a motive. So what is your purpose? Entrepreneurship is not about opening a shop and selling products. It's a way far different from that. For whatever it is you want to do, there must be a motivation to solve a problem. In other words, there must be people in mind. Mr. Leo, if My Media Prime, if this prime hour you're doing, if your intention is the people, you will make a kind of result that no other journalist in this TV house is doing. So first, everybody must decide that the primary purpose for doing anything is the people. If you have your primary purpose in your business as the people, you cannot deny result. Why? Because no producer is happy if his product is not valued. And God is the giver of success. If you don't have the people in mind, God will never be able to give you the success you desire.
Okay, Tamo Cyril, I hope you got your answers. How to survive as an entrepreneur in the midst of this crisis now? I think that they said it already. You should see the crisis as an opportunity to make gains here, to make profits out of it. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Interesting program. Entitlement mentality is what is keeping many Cameroonians in poverty. Many of us live our fears instead of facing our fears. Our educational system prepares us for a future that does not exist. It makes us know life is all about right or wrong, black or white, and has failed to inculcate in us financial intelligence to always see things at the edge of a coin. Justice Longan, writing from Idea. Can we actually explain what you just said here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I want to just read it again, then
yes.
I can get that.
It says, good evening, interesting program. Entitlement. The entitlement mentality is what is keeping many Cameroonians in poverty.
Yeah.
Many of us live our fears instead of facing our fears. Our educational system prepares us for a future that does not exist. It makes us know life is all about right or wrong, black or white, and has failed to inculcate in us financial intelligence to always see things at the edge of a coin.
All right, this is it. Entitlement mentality. Let me ask Samuel Etofis, before now, what education degree does he have? Nobody knows. But I just saw something on Facebook recently that is giving today that he has been awarded a doctorate degree. Why? Because he became a master of something he's doing, which has nothing to do with classroom education. So this entitlement thing in Cameroon is everybody wants to be called a doctor, a professor, and all of that. That's why I see them going to school without thinking that, hey, come on, I'm going to school to become someone. So they don't care about how successful they want to become first. They're concerned about that position, that title. Now, the education system teaches us that, okay, see, you have to go to school to get a job. So we are much concerned about go to school, get a job, go to school, get a job. Without that, we see nothing outside that. So we are taught that coin has two sides, front and back. But there's another part of the coin which is the edge. Because a coin, if you roll it, there's a part of the coin that actually rolls. That rolls. And that's the most important part of that coin. Because if you use the front and the back of the coin becomes static, it doesn't move. So if you really have to make use of a coin, you have to concentrate on the part that rolls. That's the really part that moves you forward. And our education system doesn't teach us that part. It doesn't, because in classroom people don't move, they sit. If you stay in the classroom, a child comes to the classroom, if you move, you sit, you are seen as a disobedient child.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work in the street. In the street, the obedient child is the one that moves. Our education system don't teach us that. They don't teach us to move, they teach us to sit. And that's why Cameroonians are always sitting. Go to their offices, they are always sitting. Nobody is moving. And that's why life in this country is always going backward.
Okay.
Either it's static or it's going backward.
Okay. Greetings, Mr. Liu, and all the special guests in the house. This is information which the youth of Cameroon need to be listening now after being misled by great-grandfathers who can't do want to give the youth a chance to show what they have been trained for. God bless the main brain behind such ideas, and with much love I extend greetings to my able brother and my caretaker back in school, Azinwi Paul. It's very it's Van Persie from Bonaberi Douala. Your place today, bro. Thank you too. Your place today. This one says, oops, no, I don't want news from Baekuke. It's not good. Good evening, Mr. Liu. An entrepreneur is a critical thinker. Critical thinking is not taught in school or in any discipline in school. Being able to do an environmental scanning and identify a problem is not taught in school. Anyone can do it. You may need business training school to teach you how to go about it. That is why Mr. Teke came up with Shep Academy to help direct people and bring out that spirit in you. Alex is writing from Boya. Atamaya Jean-Claude says, hello, Mr. Kum, Leonard, and all the panelists. It's Atamaya Jean-Claude writing from Cyprus. I love the way Mr. Teke Samuel is talking. I love the program of today because I'm learning and getting a lot of knowledge not paid for. More programs should come up on my Media Prime like this. Thank you very much, Jean-Claude Atamaya. Now, recommendation books to read to prepare for entrepreneurship space. How to cope in an environment surrounded by people who have but the employee mindset, most at times having a negative mindset.
We should recommend books. Yeah, if you go to Shep Academy, we have a lot of books. Like, I took time, bought a lot of books, bought millions, and they're there. So I told them people can come in, sit down, rent those books and read, or you can buy them. So Shep Academy at Bonduma Gate, we have a lot of entrepreneurship books there. I think one of these days, one of these Fridays, we'll come with some of them to show them a sample of all of that.
Okay, so you get it if you want to get
of those numbers and
yes,
you can give it to them.
You can, if you want to get the books that would lead you to the path of not righteousness, the path to money, moneyness.
Yeah.
Yes, so just call the numbers and you are going to be shown the way. Now, Mr. Buji, she raised an issue. We're talking about resilience in a spirit of entrepreneur. Should we also start by mastering challenges, knowing how to manage them?
I think where we have to start is to understand that change is the only constant. That change is the only thing that you cannot stop it from happening. For instance, you were doing a business before COVID-19, maybe a business that people used to move up to you. But now you have people, they are fixed in one spot. They are in Bamenda, they are in Yaoundé. You are here in Douala. And you understand that that is a change. Some people simply closed their businesses and stayed. But as an entrepreneur, you need to start thinking, how do I survive? How do I adapt to this? Now, for instance, I got, during the time that COVID-19 was really hard, I got a book from Mr. Joybet. He published a book that time. And so I asked him, how do I get this book? He told me, hey, bro, I just, this small startup that I have that will be delivering, that is doing deliveries, home deliveries. So don't worry about that. I'm going to deliver that book free of charge. I was very happy. So when they came to my place, they came with a small brochure that showed other services. They can actually deliver other things, whatever I needed. That is the spirit of an entrepreneur. Because he realized that if I write this book and it's with me at home, and I don't look for a way to let it meet people on the field, then there is no way I'm going to make money. Now we are in times that they are, in fact, the world has never changed as it has changed within the past 2 years. We now have things, new things coming up. Like an entrepreneur, you need to start looking at what is robotics, what is artificial intelligence.
Yeah, you're getting into innovations and evolution of time. I'm talking about challenge. Every business is going to face challenges, not necessarily crisis. We have maybe fire and other things that you need to restart. Is this not? Should we not also start training ourselves to be able to face challenges without necessarily
before getting into this journey? You should have it at the back of your mind that there are natural disasters. They will have to happen. If they happen, what should I do? That's why I taught a concept I call V2 MOM. V2 MOM is, that's V square. First V stands for vision. When you develop a vision, which is an idea, a business idea as an entrepreneur, the next V is value. You have to calculate what is the value of that vision you've developed. It means who is going to help, how far would this business go. Now, when you get that done, you have to now look at what I call method. That's the first M. What are the methodology? What are the methods you are going to follow to run this business through? And when you are done with that, there is an O, which stands for obstacles. If I start this my business, this is my vision, this is the value of this vision, and this is how I'm going to run the vision. Next thing is, what are the obstacles? What are the necessary pitfalls that I may face if I run this business? And how do you get that? You make inquiries. Look at people who are doing similar kind of business, or who have been into business before you. It might not be similar kind of business, but while you do your business, what happened to you? And they start analyzing those things, and then you do all of your research. You can get the necessary obstacles that might come. In case they come, what am I supposed to do? You can now propose solution to all of those challenges and keep. And then from there, you get to the next M, which stands for measurement. Now, if you are running your business on daily basis, natural or human-made, you must have some challenges. The only way you can figure out how to solve the challenges and put away disappointment or failure from your business is to do a daily evaluation of your business or your life. If you come out every day and every day, what happened to my business? Did I make progress? Did I not make progress? If I made progress, wonderful. How far can I go? If I didn't make progress, what did I do that cost me this amount or this franc? You solve the problem. So the problem with the entrepreneurs is that the problems come in minimal form. That's how the problem of an entrepreneur comes. It starts coming in bits, but they don't pay attention to those bits, and then they compile themselves, and then overnight their business shrink. No business ever collapses or liquidates overnight. Small things must have been happening. You are losing 1 franc, 1,000, 10,000, and before you know, the entire thing gets finished. This is because people don't do daily routine, daily evaluation of how their life runs, whether a business or a life. As a person, Mr. Lord, let's say you are a journalist. On daily basis, you need to be taking record of how your career is going. If you do this program today, how many persons make their comment? How far? You know, there's a message you sent to me when I was in Cameroon, when my guys disappointed you a lot. You sent me a message, and I felt terrible, and I made a decision that I will never allow anybody come for this program late. I felt the pain, and an entrepreneur is going to destroy this business. Because when people stay after 30 minutes, the program has not started, it's a problem for a businessman. And I felt terrible. If you didn't put that evaluation and send that message and tell that, no, this is going to cause a problem for my show, it would have continued like that. Nobody would have taken that, no, we're coming late, it doesn't mean anything. And people kept coming late, and to destroy your business. But for you to see that, it means there's an evaluation you are taking on daily basis. That helps you a lot to cure certain disease that have entered into your business as a virus to destroy your business. So we are supposed to take self-evaluation on daily basis, either for our business or our career, to enable us destroy failure before it comes.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. The program is interesting. I believe many youths would like to do business, but the problem is how to start it. For example, Mr. Julius writing from Mato Village. Okay. George Njong Nwabi, writing from Douala Bonaberi, says, we are living in a society where entrepreneurship is not protected. My suggestion is that for all startups, businesses for youth between the age of 0 to 24 should be tax-free and even subsidized. Mentoring centers should be created by government on how to guide youths. We just need coaching. I see. Okay, the fear factor now.
Okay, so
no, let me take this one last. Wow, I like the program. Yes, succeeding in life is all about the mindset we create. If positive, we succeed. If we think negatively, we fall. Thanks to you, Mr. Teke, and others in the studio. The youth needs to listen to this kind of program. I love it. Keep it on. Maxwell is writing from Amenda.
Okay, see, the government has nothing to do with development centers. I think we've said enough about this government kind of a thing. We should take it away from us. We should do it. We can create, if we need. For example, in Nigeria, there's what they call fellowships. Entrepreneurs can come together. Let's say agropreneurs can come together and they form a fellowship, put up their protective rights among the agropreneurs and say, these are the things we are going to do, this is how we are going to work, and they form a fellowship. Anybody who is getting into an agropreneur, if you must be valid, if you must be valued, you have to join that association. People started, and when they do that, they will register with the government. They will pay government money for registering it, and they will pay their tax. They formed it, and they in turn put money in government's pocket. This is what I always say. There's no politician, no minister, no governor that has what it takes to help an individual in this country. The problem is this, because they went to the same school like you and I. They didn't study in heaven. They have the same kind of education. So we cannot be depending on them to help us. They are also there to help their lives. So let us keep the government away if we really have to survive. If we need training centers, we can create it. We can sit down and say, Mr. Paul Azingu is a good speaker, Mr. Buji is a good speaker, Ms. A is a good speaker, Joybe is a good speaker, Jisong Golo is a good speaker. These are all Cameroonians who are doing well in the speaking milieu. We have Poim Boya, Mr. Abba is a good speaker. Gather all of these people and say, okay, we are going to create a training center where we'll take up a responsibility to train the average Cameroonian into entrepreneurship. As simple as that. The government has nothing to do. Register it, make it certified. We can pay the government and do the registration, and we run it as an association, and we will train people. They will come there, and because we are doing it for humanitarian sake, we might now reduce the fee, put it as an affordable fee for people to come and attend. At the end of the day, they will benefit the training, and they go home and build up their businesses. Let's stop looking at who is responsible. Let's look at ourselves.
Okay. Now, many persons also engage in entrepreneurship businesses without taking courses in crisis management and very capital, that you should be able to handle crisis when they come.
Of course, you know, the fear factor is actually keeping so many people out of entrepreneurship. Why? Because they feel like they should get in there and they don't have any failure. They shouldn't have any bruises. You know, in French, it's usually said that ne fais pas confiance à un bes qui n'a pas the cicatrice. You understand? Entrepreneurship is something that you fall and rise, fall again and rise. I mean, forget this glamour in front of the TV, the world. If you check the background, the journey, there's always that moment of pain. You must pay the price. That's the word. You must pay the price before because it comes with a lot of resistance. You are taking a direction that little has been done towards that direction. Very few people have taken that direction. Or maybe you are the first going that direction, and of course you're going to face obstacles, and those obstacles will not come there to caress you. They will come to push you out of the way. That's why you need the entrepreneurship spirit, because you fall and rise, because you have the picture of what you want to get at the end of the day, and nothing is stopping you, because you see that, and what you are seeing in front of you is just another stepping stone that you're going to put your feet to and go to that place. So if you ask every entrepreneur in the world, ask the Jack Ma's, the Mark Zuckerbergs, they will tell you how much obstacles they had to overcome, the rejections, I mean the abandonment from very close friends, of course. You can imagine all of that. I'm with Mr. Buji today and I start up something tomorrow. In my mind I have the full picture. Mr. Buji doesn't have it. What does he do? He abandons me, or he criticizes me. That's very common with women, you know. A woman gets to a salon, does her hair, she knows that she's beautiful, she steps out, and the closest friend of hers say, Miss Early, don't try. That her hair, so you see, and that's entrepreneurship. When you are getting in another direction, you're seeing yourself doing something big, but the nearest person to you will not see it that way. And what are they going to do? They're going to criticize you. That's why you must be so confident in yourself if you must go that journey. If you think that you want to hear from A and B that they'll have to pamper you to go that journey, forget it. Because they don't have that picture in their mind. You are the one who has that seed, and you're the one to nurture it until it is ripe for people to harvest. You have nothing to show for.
Yeah, but crisis management also has to do with dealing with the different publics with whom who are trading, who are using your services now.
Let me say this, Mr. Liu, and this is going to help us. See, to succeed in business, no businessman ever knew the entire journey before they started. Nobody. It's just like when we're coming up, you don't have to see this place to take the first step. Just take the first step and then get to the staircase. You must definitely get to where you are going to. It will be strenuous, it will be difficult, but your target is you want to get to this place. That's how entrepreneurship is. That's how life journey is. You just have to study it. In the billionaire mindset, there's a statement I made I call paralysis by analysis. And that's what's affecting a lot of the average Cameroonian. They want to sit down and analyze everything.
As you see the end from the beginning.
The end from the, and before they are done, yes, like God. And before they are done, they are gone. So we can never succeed like that. The average Cameroonian wants to get into business not to lose. And that is where the problem is. But the real entrepreneur will go into business to win. Now, the difference looks very slim. One person is going there not to lose, and that person is going there to win. So you have to go to business to win, no matter what happens. You face difficulties. If a lion wants to devour an elephant, he doesn't look at the size. He looks at the benefit of his lunch, and then he goes for it. He knows that I am going to eat this guy no matter how big. So he doesn't look at that. He's looking at what do I benefit from this big flesh. So if you are going in for a business, you want to be an entrepreneur, what you should be looking at is what do I stand to benefit as a successful entrepreneur, not what do I lose if I get into this journey. What do I stand to benefit should be your biggest motivation. Because truth is, if you finally succeed, you'll be known. Nobody heard about Tex Global in 2017. Nobody ever knew that we'll get to this stage where we'll have 6 companies running from 2017 up till now. But somebody needed to start. And so the question is, are you ready to make the first start? That's where the problem is.
Okay. I am very grateful with the program of today. If you have a vision and your problem is raising up the capital, how can one solve that? Emmanuel Ndikaka is writing from Bamenda. I'm sure Mr. Teke just answered that question. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Government missionaries kill entrepreneurship in the youth, since the government thinks only family farming in youth where there are no skills. Peter Cheng is writing from Yaoundé, but curiously, everybody is concerned about the government. But it's not business. It's patronized by young people now. The government does not.
The truth is this, Mr. Leo. When you are seeking to do something and you start pointing a finger at somebody, you lose that spirit that we are talking about here.
Yeah.
That point of responsibility is no more there. So, Mr. Teke has said it time and again. Don't look at the government. Don't look at your brother, your sister, your mother. Don't look at. It is you and you alone. What do I do in this position? That's the question you should ask. The moment you start blaming somebody, I mean, you are giving the responsibility for that person. You want that person to take that action for change to occur in your own life. That's not possible.
Okay. Hi. Okay.
If we have, I think this statement will help a lot. See, if you want the government's support, leave the government. What I'm saying is, don't look at the government. Just do your thing. If you start making it, the government will look for you. People will start looking for you when you start making a headway. Nobody wants to identify with a failure. It's a natural circumstance. It's natural. So the moment you start making a headway, the government will look for you. The people will look for you. Everybody will look for you. So leave people alone. That's why the lion doesn't walk in crowd. The eagle doesn't fly in flocks. They are alone. So learn to walk alone. Make the success. You become a pace setter and people will follow you.
Okay. Hi, good evening. Bungong Glory watching from Ndokpasi. I've been encouraged. How can you start a business where almost everybody is doing the same business? Think differently. There must be a way out differently. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for the great job you are doing. Light is our problem. I am in DOC 5 in Bamenda. Zen Romanos. Eneo The people of Kumba, yes, the people of Kumba have been suffering from light issues. I'm sure Boya also and Bamenda. You sit up
Mr.
here.
Leo, that's another problem that someone can become an entrepreneur and become a billionaire overnight. We have solar system everywhere. You can decide to be a generator distributor. If you have a Cartier, oh my, you stay in a Cartier, and you can decide to go to Nigeria and buy these plants, this bigger generator that are way cheaper in Nigeria. Come to your Cartier, get some of your neighbors, tell them, I'm going to supply you light, buy it or install it in your house, and then supply light to everybody and be collecting electricity bill. Yes, and you become a billionaire. Or you can decide to learn how to do solar system. At one of our farms in Nigeria always have issues with light, but you hardly hear Nigerian complain about light because they have immune their system to buy generators. Now what I did was I got some guys who came from Malaysia and they installed a solar system, and we supplied light to some people in that community in the environment. Today those guys are loyal to us. They pay us money for giving them electricity. So that's a problem. There's no electricity. What are you supposed to do to make business out of it?
You don't sleep and lament. You look for a way out of it. Okay, so the fact that there are no lights is also an opportunity for you to make money. Good evening to you all. Kudos to Mr. Teke. You are doing a wonderful job. Keep up, and thanks to My Media Prime for the wonderful program. This is what our generation needs. Bison Rollins writing from Bonaberry in Douala. Good evening to you, Bison. Now, Miss L, we are talking about resilience as an entrepreneur. Should we also start, before you engage in this, you should also know that you are meeting people in the domain, and it will be very important to network, like he said earlier on, so that you people can control the industry.
Yes, it's very important for us to network, to build a network with people. Information to get for people who have gone ahead of you in the line of business you're doing is very important for the growth and stability of your own business. Reason being that you might not face exactly the same challenges they face, but trust me, because you're in the same industry that they are in, you face some challenges that are similar to what they face. And sometimes these stories we hear from people who have gone ahead, it's not like you're getting the solution they use, but the fact that you heard that they were able to rise up from that challenge is enough encouragement for you. It's very important for us to network with people who have positive thinking, for us to be able to scale through the challenges, the problems we're going to be facing. Now the problem is that most of us entrepreneurs, we want to get into business, but because we are so, now we get, I don't know how to put this, but we are ready to succeed, but should I say the detriment of, no, I don't know how to put it, but this is the idea in it. Now we want to succeed, but we want to succeed to mock another, not succeeding to impact, not together. And that this particular problem does not exist only in those who are doing in the industry of people doing businesses and all that. In almost every sector in this country, there is some sort of unnecessary competition, because there's competition that is to help us grow, but there's some unnecessary competition that creates conflict and makes us to go down. That's what happens. But if you want to succeed in a business, one thing you need away from your capital. Now, one time we're here and I made mention about different types of capital. Money is just one of the capital. Your social capital. Who you know matters. Although sometimes I used to say that, to me, I try to reverse it. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Yes, okay. Because I can say now I can say that I know Mr. Teke. Okay, does Mr. Teke knows me? If I have a problem now and I say, okay, call Mr. Teke, and they say, Mr. Teke, Lorna has a problem. So who is Lorna? That's one point we have to. Now, a lot of us want to get into a situation where we want people to know us, and we don't want to know people. That's it. You want people to want to point out to you as an influence to them. Okay, I am a positive impact to these people. Now, what are these people also doing to me, so that I can be able to point a finger towards them? Because it's a two-way thing. If we're doing it on one side, we're never going to succeed. If we want to be able to rise and be able to be resilient, now the word resilient, I'm also very particular about this word. You can never say you're resilient until when you can be able to bounce back. The process is complete when the set individual is ready to bounce back in case of any challenge. And now, whether we like it or not, everybody needs an external encouragement. whether we accept it or yes, everybody needs an external encouragement. There are some people that might not believe in you so much. I sometimes I use an example of my mom. She might not really tell you that she does not believe in you, or she will just say, okay, it's okay. Like, she's not telling you no, she's not telling you yes. She's like, no, it's fine. You say that's what you want to do. Okay. No advice. Now, but sometimes I used to say that just that fact that you said okay, that you're just affirming, it tells me that you're even seeing a little light somewhere. But there are some people that we surround ourselves now. Take for instance, I want to get into a business, let's say a motor spare part business. And now the people I'm surrounding myself with, maybe somebody selling shawarma or something. Now, it doesn't mean that we will not have somewhere to meet. The problem is we are going to network, maybe for exchange of services. But in case of crisis in that business, the person doing shawarma might not be able to help me. Because you need a perfect mastery of the business. You have to be informed about the business you're involved in for you to be able to move on. Like what Mr. Teke said, there is no entrepreneur who knows the complete role or sees the bigger picture of the business until when you start moving. And there's somebody who has moved one step ahead of you in that same business. So if that person just gives you a little idea on how the next step looks like, it helps to guide you on how you'll be putting your steps before you get to the next step. But most of us, we're not willing to network. We want to stand alone. There is no way we can stand alone in this country. There is no way we can succeed. Let's focus more on Cameroon. Cameroon is a country that has its challenges that one person cannot solve. One person cannot solve. I would reiterate some words that there's some words that somebody told me. Okay, more about my boss, more about Mr. Teke, and she was like, "It's amazing that he's training a lot of you people." That's what she said. It's amazing that he's training a lot of you people, because the truth is, the information he has, if he does not duplicate himself in some people, he will not be able to do what he has to do. This was what she said, and I was just listening. And she said, now this is the major problem we have in our country. We want to cause change, but we want to do it alone, so that the praises comes to us as an individual. And you discover that with just you standing, you will not be able to create that much impact that you can be able to create if you had a team. Every successful entrepreneur has a team. But most of us dodge this part of the team. The team must not be people who are directly into the circle. The team could be your partners. The team could be maybe your employees in the company. The team could be friends. The team could be people who have gone ahead of you. The team could be people who are in that same sector that you're in. But most of us want to work alone. But we fail to understand that there are some challenges that if you face, if there's not somebody around you holding your hand, you will not be able to overcome that. So we have to be able to shift from that mindset of individualistic mindset, standing alone, to succeed.
Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all the mind-blowing men and women in the studio. Madam Nanji Prudence from Yaoundé. I love this program because it always changes my mind. Set each time I listen to Mr. Teke, this man is pregnant with worth. May God bless you people richly. God also bless you too. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Your program is very nice. It's Brinu writing from Dop. Good evening to you. Good evening to you all. I love the program. I have 500,000 francs, but no idea to invest in due to lack of places and shops in Douala. Before I discover, I spent almost half of it. Emmanuel Konui, present in Douala. Emmanuel, can you just call Mr. Teke using the numbers on your screen to see where you can invest in? Now, Mr. Buji, also resilience to be able to sustain and stay at the top would need a lot of morality in businesses. Many persons think that to succeed as an entrepreneur, you need to be dubious. You take money from people. You take advantage of them.
No, you cannot take advantage of people and actually succeed in entrepreneurship. Okay. Let me borrow back from what Mr. Teke says. The people must be in mind. Okay. If you want to get into entrepreneurship, you must put the people first. And there's never been a time in history like now that we call this time, as us in business, we describe it as the age of the consumer. The consumer wants to know, if I'm buying this, what am I even benefiting from it? So we have tilted to the angle where it is, if you want to solve a problem, who are you solving the problem for? If you are solving the problem for yourself, you will not make money. So you must be honest, because when you save people diligently, that is only when you will have the rewards. You cannot say, okay, let me, for instance, as an entrepreneur, if you want to produce something, it must be authentic. imagine if someone was to sell you something fake. Maybe you're thirsty, you want to drink, let me say, Coke, and they give you water, and they tell this is it. Will you buy from that shop the next time? The answer is no. So there are some guides as entrepreneurs. You must have the ethics of what you are doing, so much so that people should be able to trust you. I have one of my training models that is how to make people to like you, actually love you, then buy from you. Because if people do not love you, they will not buy your services. If people don't admire something about you, maybe they will admire your product, or they will admire you as a person. So you have to have a good moral standing. That is only where you can be recommended. People will recommend you. Why? Because you delivered quality. But if you are that type of entrepreneur that you say, okay, for instance, I am delivering this tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
You have to outsmart almost everybody.
Yes. Then by that time they are waiting for you, you don't show up. You collect money from people this quarter to deliver a product and you never show up. The next day you are in the other quarter. You cannot succeed in that
you
way.
take money from these people to service this.
You
And you go around, yeah.
Or maybe you promise delivering a liter and you come with a liter actually, but the content is not up to a liter. You know,
You dilute it.
Yes, or you dilute it. We're living in a time when people are so conscious about their feeling. So conscious, you know. I have this favorite quote that I always use. I always say, world circulates through a network called relationships, powered by an energy called trust. If you can relate well with people these days, if you can't build trust, forget it. Because we are in the connection economy where referrals play a lot in your business. And if you break the trust between me, the next thing is that I'm telling the next person beside me, I'm complaining. The truth is that when people enjoy something, they don't talk much about it. And when they have dissatisfaction, they can blow it everywhere. We have social media now that people will go and complain, but the moment they were enjoying it, they were not saying anything. You as an entrepreneur, if you really want to succeed, make sure that what you have promised, deliver it. If you promise and you deliver less, I always insist that promise less and deliver more. Don't promise that you are going to bring heaven and earth together and then you cannot even bring, just Douala to somebody. It loses that trust. And to rebuild trust these days, because there are a lot of businesses out there, people have the problem of choice. You know, they always have this. And I've seen something with the Cameroonian community. Cameroonians are not loyal customers. You don't have loyal clients. You know, like if they get to the shop and this particular product is not available, they cannot go without consuming it. They'll just say, what's available? That's very common with drinks. You know, I want to drink this, and no, the barman says it's not available. You say, what is available? Okay, done. You know, so at every point in time, make sure what you promise you deliver. Don't give them that opportunity to go to your competitor. Because the moment they go to bring them back, it's more difficult to get a customer than to maintain it. So I'm talking to all the young people out there who are dreaming of creating businesses. Be genuine. Make sure what you promise you deliver. Make sure the timing is okay. Don't have 2 clients today and tomorrow you're having 1 and you're not questioning. Always make sure that what you promise is what comes on the table. That's why I'm sure that's the reason why Test Global is still existing for the past 3 years. Because what they promise, they do deliver.
We should do business with a human face, yeah?
Yes.
Very important.
Yes.
We should even pray, we should do everything, commit.
Even words are very important.
This what I always say, that you can make genuine money. You can genuinely do business. Now, success is not making money. It's away from that.
Okay.
Success is making money and helping people. If you are making money and someone else is crying, you are not successful. And that is what the average Cameroonian youth is doing. You make a lot of money, buy big cars, but someone is committing suicide because of what you did to them. Someone is doing a dangerous thing because of what you did to them. That is not it. If we do that, our community can never grow. So we have to start thinking, how do I genuinely get into a business, successfully do the business, make my lot while others benefit? Because nobody wants to know about how much. Nobody wants to care about how much you know until they know how much you care. So the question is, how much do you care for the people? If you really care for the people, you will not introduce them into a business that will make them to lose their money. Anytime you stand up as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, and introduce people to a business, you know that you cannot boldly stand on TV and talk about it. And you tell people, you go behind and tell people to give their money to put in the business and say that we know that in 6 months the business is going to close. Let's just get our own and then we run away. It's crazy because that's what people do right now. They know it's going to close after 6 months, but they'll tell you, see, guys, come, let's just talk to people, get our own money, we collect our own and we go away. And they call themselves that we are networkers. That's what networkers, we collect our own and we go away. It doesn't make sense because all of us want this nation to grow. And the nation cannot grow when we keep causing people to lose money. We have to stand for a cause that if we are introducing something, we introduce something that has the potential to stand the test of time, no matter how small it's going to be. I've had several people that told me that, see, I want to join Tesco, but that our registration money too high, and the interest you are promising us is too small. And I tell them, I say, it's very simple. I cannot give you a promise that will not be able to pay. So it's better I do business with one person and I keep to my promise than to do business with 100 people and after 6 months I'll close down. And truth be told, most of them did the one that they don't do registration and the promise is the interest is too high, and today they are out of it. I was coming, someone was writing me, say, I put 2.5 million, let me not call names here. And the thing there with me, my brother, I beg, as I want to go for the year also, I go succeed. And I told him it's your choice, because when you wanted to go for the other one, you didn't ask these several questions you're asking now. But because you have failed, now you're asking a lot of questions. That's because the one that glitters a lot, most times, is not the real one. So we have to be careful. There's something Professor Mola wrote. He said, glitters is not gold. That is glittering doesn't make it gold. So if that's why I put it. If you are scammed or if you have been duped, I don't always blame the scammer a lot. I blame you, because it takes your gullibility for you to get scammed. So the average Cameroonian who is losing money in all of those scam schemes is because they are gullible and they want to become wealthy overnight. Nobody goes up to success. Nobody goes up to riches. Everybody grows. So we have to take time to grow from one step to another. If you must experience financial freedom, you have to grow into it. You don't just get there overnight. You don't stand there, you put 200,000, and after 10 days they are giving you 800,000, and you say you are a billionaire. You don't. It doesn't work like that. Nobody has ever become financially free by winning a lotto. They'll win billions and it will disappear after one night. Why? Because why Jesus Christ is the greatest king today is because he grew. Why Adam failed is because Adam went. Adam did not grow. God created Adam as an adult. He just woke up a big man.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't go through life. That's why it was easier. God created Eve, and Eve was already a mature woman. Adam just saw Eve, mature woman, and said, oh, you're my wife, come. And it was easier for Eve and Adam to fall into the temptation because they never passed through things. But Jesus went through things. He saw hunger. He had been hungry while he was growing. So even when Satan said, turn stone into bread, the guy was used to hunger. There was no way Jesus said, I'm so hungry, let me just turn it and eat. He went through things. He grew up. So people are failing because they have refused to grow. Let us get back to the state of growth, no matter how old you are. If you are broke and you are 40 years old, grow from year one. Start doing business from day one until you grow into it. Don't just get there.
Okay.
You have to grow there.
Don't just get there. We have to grow. Many messages are reading them. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all the panelists. I'm enjoying the topic of today because being your own boss, when you start a business and are self-employed, you are your own boss and ultimately control your own destiny. I have tried to reach Mr. Teke through Text Global to no avail. Please, can I have the lady in the white number? Oh, that Mr. Teke, I'm writing from Denmark. Daniel, that's Mr. Teke's number. I don't know. You can get. Just write to that number, please. You get to Mr. Teke. Why did you not ask the numbers of this? Daniel, wow. You know, Daniel was the wisest in the Bible. Yes. He was 10 times wiser than. Yes, they are very wise guys.
He's a wise man. Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Walters from Boya. What I have to say is, may the wisdom of God continue in you and Mr. Teke and everyone with you, and thank you all for your encouragement. We receive it in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you. Hello, good evening to you all. The program is really mind-blowing. I and my brother Alpha are really grateful. Thank you very much, Alpha. Mr. Liu, I can't wait to go to Shep Academy and meet Miss L. I see a lot of positive energy radiating from her. Mr. Teke is really proving many Cameroonians wrong. We have some great thinkers in Cameroon. We just need that push from the likes of Mr. Teke. Okay, I can't wait to be with Tex Group tomorrow in Mountain Hotel. I don't know what's happening in Mountain Hotel tomorrow. John George Onwabi Kato from Douala. I'm really enjoying the topic. Wonderful show from Mr. Teke. I would like to say our parents should be the starting point to the development of our entrepreneurial mindset. Most of Cameroonians grow up with things being done for them by their parents. Our parents need to set the minds of children free as soon as possible, not to wait till when they are out of university. A father should be a coach as soon as the child is 8 to 12 years, not a father with hardened rules. Okay. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening to you all, the members and crew. I just wanted to contradict with Mr. Teke on the part of generating electricity. If anybody tries to do like he says, that person will be locked up. Edmond, writing from Bissong. Abang, I don't know. We should do some findings here. I don't know whether there's a law that says so. Mr. Teke, I hail you. You are indeed teaching a lot. Mr. Boji is a great man. He's actually saying what he does practically. He had an opportunity to be served by him. My regards. Okay, good evening to you. People are appreciating the great job you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Mr. Liu, there are so many charlatans in this field that everybody don't trust anyone. It needs only the grace of God to listen to an entrepreneur. Peter is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening. I like your program, Mr. Liu, especially as it educates us. The youth are paving the way to unemployment in Cameroon. I'm Zuberu, writing from Bomenda. Greetings to you from Achatugi. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much, and more grace. Gideon, if there are charlatans, I'm sure, don't follow the charlatans. Follow the knowledge they are giving out there.
Charlatans are everywhere, even in America.
Yes, so that just get the knowledge they are giving out there and make life the best. Miss L, I don't know, are you the one who just spoke? Oh, no, it's Mr. Teke. Let me get to you. Now, there is also the need to have mastery of what you want to do. You don't just sit overnight and because you see somebody prospering somewhere, you don't do your homework and then you engage in it only to be embarrassed. Yeah?
Last time we came here, Mr. Teke made a statement. He said that the greatest mistake the white man made was to give us the internet.
Okay.
Every business you want to do, there should be an information somewhere. We get informed through diverse means, not just the internet. Even with somebody discussing with you. Where did the idea of daily savings come from? From the Norman Jangi that our mothers were doing. The daily savings that banks are doing today, that they walk around and they're collecting money from people. That's the Jangi that our mothers were doing. Every business you want to do, there is information found everywhere. So before you get into it, try to get information. I love this particular statement in the Billionaire Mindset, that when they go and get stuff, it's the information you have that keeps you going. How informed you are will determine how you're going to stand the test of time when you meet challenges in any sphere of your life, not just in business. So before you get into a business, try to create that time to get information. Now, not just reading books, not just, normally Cameroonians don't love to read, I don't know why, but not just reading books, not just watching motivational videos, not just doing research in the internet. Ask, don't be proud. Some people, I don't know. I used to hear somebody say, I don't want to ask because nowadays, yes, people are afraid that when they discuss their ideas with people, yes, somebody can buy your idea. But there's always a way you can be able to get information from somebody. I think we did something like that in philosophy when I was in the high school. I used to mistake the person, is it Socrates or Aristotle, one of them used to use intuitive knowledge. What he does is that he gets to you and he asks a question. You answer, everybody responds. He takes what people have said and then form a new theory. And he gives you back the theory and you think that he has created something. But he took it from all of you, but you did not just know. So let's be able to get so much information that we can be able to create our own from what people have done. Mr. Teke used to make mention of something. He used to say that there is no knowledge that is new. The first time I heard that sentence, I was like, okay, but some things that they say seems new to me. So why is it that, how come no knowledge is new? And then I started thinking about it and everything. Then I discovered that people just get information, they gather information from others and redefine it. They restructure it and put it back to us. And one person takes it and then restructure it and send and give it to another generation. That's how it goes. What we are saying now, in some generation to come, some things will be redefined. And they begin to another generation. So it's always good to have a perfect mastery of what we want to do before we can be able to venture into any business. Sometimes when we face challenges in our businesses, is more, now the reason why we cannot bounce back is because we did not get these informed decisions. Before you want to even take a step in the business, you should know something about the step. But what you might not know is the consequence, but you should be able to know what the step entails. But now you being able to make the consequence be positive will tell us how it will be determined by how you place the step. For instance, if I'm climbing the staircase now, me falling, all of us are climbing the stair. If another person misses their step and fall, we are climbing the same stair. But the fact that maybe you are not focused on where you are placing your leg when you're climbing the stair would now lead to you falling. But the truth is that you knew there was a staircase there. So all of us are informed that there is a staircase, that there is a step, there are steps we take in the entrepreneurial world. But how informed you are about the step tells us how you're going to place your footsteps on it. If you have mastered this, somebody who has never been here before, if the person comes here in the night that there is no light, the probability of that person falling here on the staircase here at the media house here is very high. But somebody who has been coming here, the workers here, they have a perfect mastery of the staircase in such a way that if there is no light, there's no electricity, they will still be able to manage somehow to scale through, because they are informed about the site and situation of this place. So if you get so much information, you gotta have so much research, learn from people from all the means you can. It's going to help you in the times you face challenges.
Mr. Buchi, one core aspect that everybody who wants to receive the grace, the spirit of entrepreneurship, it's courage to take the decision to start and not always procrastinating. That is, you have to eliminate this aspect of fear. You must take the step.
Of course, if you are afraid to start, you will never go anywhere. So you need to make it a decision that I am starting. It's not that you just have an idea and get into execution. No. But when you get an idea and you craft it out, and now you're certain what you actually want to do, you take that action. Don't say I will do it tomorrow, because today is yesterday's tomorrow. So you need to be very intentional about what you have to do. Then most importantly, like I will recommend this, you need to actually associate with those who have taken the journey before you. Study them. We are back to the edge that there is the internet. There is the internet, you can get a lot of things there. But I still recommend mentorship. I still recommend get up to a coach. Have a coach. Have somebody that you will actually share this vision, that you can hold him accountable. It's not just anybody. That person should not be your friend or somebody that you're too comfortable with. Look up to somebody that you can actually respect. Because the entrepreneurship journey is not a journey that you can walk alone.
But you should not be afraid to fail, because you must fail. You may
fail severally. Jack Ma says in fact, one of Jack, I watched a video from Jack Ma that he only talked about failure. He only talked about how he failed. And the other time when I was reading the Billionaire Mindset, there is actually this too much talk about fear. If you are afraid to face your fears, there is no way. If you run away from your fears, at least the dream is dead. So you need to face your fears and rise.
Okay.
If not, you will you give up. You will never start. And you must adopt the attitude of a lion. Know that this problem that you've identified, you are the king there. You are going to solve the problem. It is not. In fact, when the lion gets up, it feels that when it roars, I am the king of the jungle.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I love your program and keep the flame burning. Andem Lawrence writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I hail you, Mr. Teke. Indeed, you are a business guru. I have learned a lot from you, though I have never done business. But right now, I have learned that to start a business, you must identify a problem. Watching live from Chang, Fortala MacBlaise, Zifak, good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Kum and your panelists. Good program, especially on Friday. You guys are wonderful. Developing entrepreneurship is difficult in Cameroon. A woman discovered that nobody sells Anglophone food like fufu and eru in Cité Vert, Trois boutique in Kongsamba, and decided to open a restaurant. But despite the food quality, Francophones and Anglophones living beside still decided to buy bread beside, and the restaurant closed. Sumbele Kelvin writing from Kongsamba, which means that that was not the problem. The problem was not that food. Good evening to you, Mr. Liu, and your panel. I'm enjoying your program. It's informative, inspirational. God bless you guys in the studio. It's Raymond from Bomenda. I would love to get the contact of the only lady in the studio. She too is pregnant with so much. I hope you just want to learn from her. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Her number is there, I'm sure. Good evening, Mr. Liu and Text Global team. I'm really so impressed with the program. The program is going to put a lot into the minds of Cameroonian youth. I'm proud to say I'm part of this amazing life-changing opportunity. Text Global. One thing that kills us Cameroonians is the fear of losing. But take this today. Let your fear of losing never dominate the joy of winning. Success mindset. I'm Basil Fon, based in Yaoundé. Basil, good evening. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm learning very much from your program. Please help me ask Mr. Teke if he is connected to Chi Maul. God bless you all for the opening the minds of Cameroonians. Acha Melvis writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all in the studio. I'm enjoying the program so much. My regards to Mr. Paul and Laura writing from Douala. Ngo says, good evening, Mr. Leonard. Thank you people very much for the wonderful program. Extend my greetings to Mr. Teke, Mr. Paul, and the other panelists. Ngo Patrick writing from Moliko, that is in Boya, city of legendary hospitality. Now, to you, if you have to succeed, you have to show a relentless tenacity and determination, living up, and you have to stay optimistic. If you are engaging in such a venture, entrepreneurship, you must be optimistic.
Yeah.
And you must have the spirit that whatever the situation, you must succeed.
Yeah.
Well, I like the way you put a lot of grammar in it. But, the truth is that it is not grammar. It is not grammar that brings the reality. You know, it is the what you face in the field, your ability to dare and dare again. You know, because mind you, we are talking here. We are in a room with an air condition. We are very comfortable. But mind you,
out there,
entrepreneurship is not comfortable. Entrepreneurship is giving up your life for others. Because you take that responsibility to give a solution to people in terms of money. And at the end of the day, money is not what gives us satisfaction. What gives you satisfaction at the end of the day is the ability for you to stand back and look and really say, hey, these people are having this because I took up this decision to do this. You understand? And mind you, it is obvious that if those grammars must have to come to pass, you must dare and dare and dare, because it will not occur in a day. It will not occur tomorrow. It's not going to happen in a month or so, in a year. It's going to take a long time, and those obstacles are not going to decrease as you go ahead. They will only increase. They will only increase. And there will be no time like an entrepreneur when you will now relax and say, okay,
it's time to rest.
I've arrived. I cannot rest. Lie. the more you grow in the entrepreneurship world, the more you have obstacles. Because maybe yesterday you had just 2 clients and it was very easy to deal with them. Today you're having 500. You're having 500 problems to solve. You're having 500 complaints on your table. There's no way you can be more relaxed. You are obliged to keep going. You're obliged to keep equipping yourself, because the satisfaction at the end of the day comes when you now breathe at old age and you say, wow, I was able to go through this, I was able to face this, and actually I am at old age, and look at what I've done, and look at where I've been, rather than being like most people that I have this habit of watching people, you know. I used to stand on the window of my office and I see these old men who are pushing this truck with sawdust, and I foresee myself in 60 years. I'm like, Paul, so if you don't work hard, is this going to be I'm on a bike and you like quaff, and the guy will be saying qua because he's too old, he can't hear what you're saying. And I'm asking myself, Paul, if you're not working hard, does it mean that at 60 you'll be on a bike in this scorching sun in Douala and riding a bike? And I tell myself, no, this will not be my end. What do I expect? I start saying, what is happening in my community? Who is doing what? How do I connect with them? That's why at one point in time I would say I'm the king of network, because if I see you doing something that I know that I will learn something from you, I don't care where you are, I will relate with you.
Yeah,
with time.
Okay.
I will do everything to relate with you. Ask me how I'm sharing a panel with Mr. Teke, with Lonarika, or Buji. You can't tell, because where I come from and where I'm sitting, and those who know me will be wondering. It's a far distance, but it's an intentional something. No matter what, I want to know who are doing something in the sector where I belong, and I want to be identified with them, not just going around with them, but learning what they are doing, because that's what is going to keep me going.
Mr. Teke, before I ask your question, this just clarify this worry from Mr. John from Bamenda. He says, good evening to all. I'm John from Bamenda. I have a problem with all the network marketing businesses. Do we really think it's a good platform to invest, because you have a lot of them and now can't know which is legit? Just to tell you that this is, Mr. Teke is not into network marketing, but I don't know whether you have something.
Okay, let me say this. The issue is not network marketing. The issue is the knowledge you had before joining a business. The word network is simply getting into a business that has to do with people. Network simply means this is your business, My Media Prime, and Miss Air came here one time and then spoke, and then you heard what she said, and you tell her, okay, I want to talk to Mr. Teke. That's a network. So she linked you to me, and then we spoke, and I said, wow, this is amazing. Then we started doing business, and today we have long-lasting relationship. That's what is called network. So the issue is not network. The issue is the kind of business you do. So most business come in and they involve network, because you cannot successfully do a business without involving network. Network simply means getting people into your business. It's another word for referral. I refer you to my business, or you refer someone into your business. The person that asks if I'm part of Chimo, and I've never been part, I'm not part of Chimo. Right? So
what is Chimo?
It's a business. The person that asks it's a business that that dates with some people. So now the problem is, people get into business not looking at how, but once you have what the promise they have given to them. I always say this: forget about the word network. Whether the network is not an issue. As a matter of fact, network marketing business is one of those businesses that can make billionaires. Permit me to use the word overnight. That can make billionaires overnight. It's a business you can actually do without anything. So networking is not the problem. The problem is the person that introduced you to the business. For example, please permit me, let me use a company. For example, there's a company like AIM Global, for example. They do business, they do networking. The issue is not the networking. Now, they do business and they sell supplements, which is awesome. But because I am greedy, I can come and introduce AIM Global to you, and I'll not tell you that if you join AIM Global, you have to sell products for you to get money. Now, when you join, I tell you, if you just bring 74,000, just bring the money, and before you know it, I'll put under you and you start making money. And when you put in the money, I cannot put under you and now give you product. And when you start asking, say, the product I've given you is your money, so sell your product to make money. The issue is not the company. The issue is the person who told you about the business. So if you are going to business, there are 3 things you should look at. I call them the 3 P's. Number 1, look at the people behind the business. Forget the term networking. Look at the people, Mr. John. Look at the people behind the business. Are they physical? Can you meet them? Can you talk with them? Can you relate with them? Number 2, look at the product of that business. If you are looking at the product of a business, question number 1, what is the global acceptability of the product? If you take this product to Bamenda, would they buy it? If you take it to America, can they buy it? If you take it to Japan, would they buy it? Is a product globally acceptable? Number 2, is a product affordable? Number 3, is a product durable? Look at that. If yes, then you start deciding if you want to join. And the last thing is, look at the profit of the business. Is it a profit that is so mind-blowing that seems unrealistic to you? Anytime you want to get into a business and the profit seems unrealistic, go back and sleep and think if you should truly do it. Because if the profit seems unrealistic, it means your mind cannot carry it. And any business that your mind cannot carry, your life cannot experience it. So but people get carried away by someone promising you billions, and then you just get carried away, and then you get in there not knowing the tenacity of the work you have to do. And when you are told that you really have to work, say, you not tell me now, and then they now tell me that the business is good. Like someone once told me, say, network marketing bill and nyungu. Now only when you don't join, they will now tell you, say, you need to bring person. So the problem in network marketing is that you have to refer someone. And that's a problem the average Cameroonian has. They don't know how, they don't want to refer. And you cannot succeed in a business if you don't understand the business of referral. Because you need to tell someone that this is how the business is, but then that's where the morality part of it comes. Tell people the truth. This is how the business is. Let it be at their discretion to decide whether they want to get in or not. Don't deceive them. Don't sugarcoat them and tell them just bring 96,000 or just bring 900,000 and you join the business and just go and sleep. Nobody sleeps in a business.
Okay. Everybody sleeps in a business. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm always afraid to start a business. What can I do? Andrew is writing from Bonaberi. We just told you that you must take a step. So you will start, you will fail, but you have to keep trying until you get the right formula. Good evening, Mr. Liu. All what these guys are telling us is what we were taught in school and we have been reading in books. Maybe it's applicable in the Western world. It's very different out here. I'm Luis, writing from Limbe. Mr. Teke is doing business in Cameroon. Yeah. Most of them, all of them are doing business in Cameroon and they are succeeding. Hello, good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Chris from Douala. God bless you. How can I attend Shep Academy? Just call the numbers under your screen and I'm sure they will get you through. Mr. Liu, thanks a lot for your program. Always anxious to listen and contribute to, but for the frequent poor network between the studio and Kumbu, please try to do something, especially when there is wind or rain, so as to improve on programs quality. It's a Emmanuel writing from Kumbu. Emmanuel, I don't know whether you want me to enter the wind. What should I do? Okay, I'll pray for God to give me power so that I can pray. I am Tent Paul from Fokwe subdivision, one subdivision under Menwa division. I greet you all from the studio. I am well talented with making local soap detergent and bathing soap that clean pimples and rashes from the body, and there is no market. What can I do to have a market? Please tell me, what can I do? Can you just call the number and they will direct you on what to do. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to everyone in the studio. This is Seraphine from Limbe. I wish to ask, my mom is not seeing and she like doing business. Please, what will she do and what type of business will she do? Just call us using the numbers on your screen and I will help you out. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Raphael from Loom. I'm enjoying the program. I love the way Mr. Teke is teaching. Okay. Prosper from the Northwest Farmers, whether it's Farmers Union or organization. Good evening, Mr. Kum and the great team for today. We need more of such transformed minds in our nation. The right minds can take us ahead. Prosper, your program with Charles Keboa is going to air tomorrow on My Media Prime. I'm sure 8 a.m. if I'm not mistaken, and then 9 p.m. also tomorrow. We are going to be finding out how Northwest Farmers organization is faring. They have undertaken some projects they're going to be telling us tomorrow, 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Now, I want to also talk also about a plan B. Okay. We are talking about strategic planning. You want to engage in this. Should you also always think about a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan Z? Does it work in business?
Yeah.
Or are we talking about diversification?
Yes, it does. As a matter of fact, diversification is a key. But then, how do you diversify when you don't even have enough?
Like many persons who are even afraid to start.
Yes. So you have to start from somewhere. Start from something, put your energy in it. But if you have enough, always think of how to diversify. This a statement I always use, that you cannot test the ocean with both legs. You cannot. So, but if you have the means, diversify. If you don't have the means, focus on one, grow it. When it's growing and it's having stability, then start diversifying. Don't rely on one source of income. Always try as much as you can to diversify. Like I said, if it's not enough, build one. When it's growing, then you start diversifying. That's very important.
Okay. Good evening to you, Mr. Leo, and to all in the studio. The program is very interesting today, especially for the young who are growing in the domain of entrepreneurship. What I learned today is that failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of success. Thanks once again, especially to Mr. Teke. God bless you. It's Elvin writing from Fouguerolles in Yaoundé. Somebody talked about something happening tomorrow at Mountain Hotel. Yes. What's happening there?
Well, tomorrow at Mountain Hotel, 2 p.m., that's in Buea, we are going to be having a Tex Global seminar that will be scaling your finances through agriculture. So we are going to be sharing with the Cameroon youths, with the elderly. In fact, it's an opportunity for everyone to come and learn what we do at Tex Global, how we have been able to sustain ourselves for the past 3 years, going 4 years now. You will learn how you can grow your finances with us, because as you say, you don't arrive at the top in your financial journey. You actually have to grow it. We want to involve, you actually see what we do. It's not like we say, you put your money and you get this. We will be sharing the step-by-step process, what we do at Tex Global, and we will be actually showing you successful people, those who have been successful doing our business, and it will also be an opportunity for you to start with us, because Tex Global has reached a stage that we think we can accommodate more Cameroonians, we can help as many Cameroonians as possible, and we can only do that through an event like that. Present would be our able CEO, Mr. Teke Samuel. So if you want to see him and you are in Buea, then Mountain Hotel is the destination. We'll have our General Manager, Madame Dorothy Njingwa. She will be there, and my humble self, the Marketing Director, Mr. Buji. So we are going to help you begin your journey towards financial freedom.
So tomorrow at the Mountain Hotel in Buea, if you are around Buea, Kumba, watching us from Kumba, Limbe, Mutengene, Tiko, or even Douala.
People are coming from Yaoundé.
Yes, and you think that you want to know better about the Tex Global chain of companies. Tomorrow is a time for you to meet them, exchange with them, and they are also going to explain to you how possible it is to invest in what you guys are doing. Or why not learn how to invest in your own ideas and better? You need to meet them tomorrow at
we'll also be doing a car award ceremony for some of our people that have done very well. We'll be giving like 2 cars out tomorrow, and so
Tex Global is giving out 2 cars?
Yes, tomorrow. So I want people to come and
and
see.
my Media Prime is not invited.
So I'm sure they have this to talk with them about you after this. What I actually want the average Cameroonian to know is that it is possible in this country. It is possible. All we have to do is put all of our energy together, and everybody can make it work.
Tex Global is giving out 2 cars tomorrow?
Yes.
How now? You should have told me since that I take part.
Yes. So I also want to personally talk about the Audacity of Success.
Yes.
That's coming up on the 10th of April, 2021. That meeting is going to be one meeting that everybody, if you come there, no matter your experience, you're going to go back surprised, because the packages in that meeting are something else. Every day I sleep and I wake up and something else coming, and then I'll just jot it down. And the amazing speakers I'll be coming with, Mike Godson is a Nollywood actor and also an agropreneur. He's a guru in the business of agriculture. Professor Mulwa Ernest is a registered University of Buea and also an agri-economist. He's amazing and is doing greater things in the city of Buea. And we have amazing people who will be attending.
Can we have your pictures, please?
And I want all Cameroonians to make it a date on the 10th of April 2021 at Hotel La Falaise Bonanjo in Douala, here in the state of Douala. It's going to be amazing. I would like to see overflow, because the secret packages that the team has put together is going to be surprising. People will leave that place with their businesses. People will leave that place with a lot of exciting things coming up. So 10th of April is a date, and tomorrow 2 p.m. at Mountain Hotel. Please join us. Let's see how we can make our country an exciting nation for people to come in and enjoy.
Okay, that is the picture. The picture of that. He's a Nigerian actor.
Yes.
He's acting film. Is he going to?
That's it.
Is he going to? Yes. Is he going to? Can we listen to that?
Hi friends, my name is Mike Godson. I'm a Nollywood actor and entrepreneur. I am super excited. I'll be attending the Audacity of Success event happening on the 10th of April in Douala, Cameroon. I am very delighted and very honored to be given the opportunity to speak with the youths of Cameroon, engaging them in a beautiful interactive section. The goal is to impart knowledge and share my ideas about, my journey as an actor and a businessman. I want you to attend, come together, and let's make it a beautiful experience. And I also like to shake hands with you. So see you there. God bless. Bye.
Okay, so on the 10th of April, you said there's a discount?
Yes, there's actually a discount. If you are to pay between today and the 25th, you are going to pay just 15,000 francs instead of, yes, instead of 25,000 francs. That is the normal price. So they can actually contact the numbers on the screen and pay in their, to know the process on how to take the advantage of the discount. And it's really limited because we are already getting to the satisfactory number that we wanted to take.
So to succeed, it doesn't suffice that you just get this knowledge, and you need to take the extra step, the step of faith, so that you can enter into.
But the meeting for tomorrow is free.
The meeting of tomorrow is free.
Yes,
in Boya.
In Boya is free.
It's free. I wish I was also getting in the car. Okay, good evening to you all, and more courage for this imparting problem. Please, how can one determine a successful business as to embark on? Ngolefak Peter in Yaoundé, you just have to take a risk. That's also business now. Yes. Good evening to you all in the studio. It's Capo from Yaoundé. Please, I want to ask if that spelling of entrepreneur is in English or in French. Okay. This one says, once more, good evening, Mr. Liu. If I am to follow the ways of Mr. Teke in replying to my fellow brothers here in Menua Fokwe subdivision involved in soap production, then I will say that he didn't identify the problem before engaging into the business. Bless is writing from Chang. My native name is being a problem to pronounce, sir. Okay, no, but you have to help him, though he may have made an error, but we have to help him sell his products.
Yes, the problem, I think the issue with him is not even that there's the problem. That product is actually a solution to a lot of problems. What he needs to know now is to identify the market, identify the right market. If you are in the village, there's no market for that. Why not get your product to town or get into partnership with someone? That's why marketers are involved. Get into partnership with someone who can get a market for your product and you will sell. It's a very simple thing. Don't just stay at home and say there's no product. Go out there. Have you ventured going out?
Please, Mr. Teka, I need more programs here in Yaoundé. Please put us in plan 2. So Yaoundé people want you to get back to
I had about 5 persons writing that we should bring Audacity of Success in Yaoundé. So one person has decided to come from Yaoundé to Douala so that he will be going back as ambassador for Audacity of Success to go and start up the movement in Yaoundé.
But the people of Amena were also asking.
Yeah, we'll take care of that. I have my Mr. Buji and all that. So as soon as they make the plans, we are good to go.
Are you ready to go?
We're helping people so we go everywhere.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
It's also risk taking now.
Yeah,
Is that not what we are talking about?
that's part of business.
Okay. Yes, but one last thing. I don't know who has to take it. Is the fact that you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to have a spirit, a winning spirit, a resilient winning spirit. You also have to forgo so much enjoyment.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
You have to learn to forgo today's pleasure for tomorrow's treasure. That's how I put it. Of course, entrepreneurship is an enjoyment thing, but then there's a time you have to do that. So you have to forgo today's pleasure for tomorrow's treasure. As simple as that.
Okay. Can we remind ourselves of what is happening in Boya tomorrow before we leave?
Yes, tomorrow 2 p.m. at Mountain Hotel. There's an amazing program organized by Tex Global. So we're encouraging everybody to be there. It's going to be free, and you're going to get so much information about Tex Global. You should join the winning team. This is the winning team. Tex Global is the winning team in our country.
For free.
For free, yes.
Okay. And on the 10th of April.
Yeah, that's it.
That's Audacity of Success here in Douala, in the beautiful La Falaise Bonangel.
Okay. Okay. We want to thank you all who came from the Southwest regions and those of you who came from some quarters in Douala,
United State of Douala.
thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm very grateful once more about this program. And my last word to the audience is develop this spirit. Don't wait for people to create change and you adapt to it. Just seek to create a change yourself and get others to move along with you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Liu, and wonderful team of my Media Prime. And to our viewers out there, I want you to understand that you are the change the world is looking for. While you are looking for people to change you, the world is looking for you to change them. So take a step, make the change, and be the difference that you can be.
Okay. And to you, Mr. Buji, thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure. So whatever we are saying here, to us, our audience, I appreciate you. Congratulations, because I am already getting the entrepreneurship spirit in them. You see some of their comments, their contributions, they are very much appreciated.
And to you, Mr.
Ambassador.
It's a wonderful pleasure for me to be here, and I'm so certain that so many Cameroonian youths are watching out there. And sincerely, this is what we lacked when we were growing up. You have the opportunity to listen or speak. Don't sleep, don't blame, don't complain. Look around you and try to do something, and certainly we are going to leave this stage better than we met it. So we have tomorrow in Boya, and on the 10th of April we have Douala. Come and let's share in the spirit of resilience. Let's share in the spirit of entrepreneurship. Come and meet great people who are doing things that you're hoping to get there someday. Come and learn one thing that at least you can practice in your life, and we all are going to certainly leave this place with a legacy that we remember after. Thank you so much.
I reserve this for the end. Hello, Mr. Liu. There is a saying that not taking risk is risky. Extend my regards to Mr. Teke and the entire team for a wonderful job they are offering. I'm Pankeng Yafi, writing from Bangolan. I'm ending this program with your text, and we want to say thank you to the production team, Eli, and to you, Desmond, and to you, Bertrand, and Noel, not forgetting you, Didi Banderas out there in Kumba, and you, Tabi Tambe Bryant, who is supervising all we do out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.